Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and yes, before you write it in the comments, I am standing up. Nothing else has changed in the room. And today, I want to talk about CCF and Tier 3s, because a lot of the time when a new Tier 3 character gets announced, a section of the community complains about not having enough CCF. And more recently than any other update, I've seen people saying things like, you know, I'm never going to be able to get Tier 3 Namor, or I wish we had an update with 0 Tier 3s. And while I do understand the frustration with not getting enough CCF to Tier 3 all of the characters that you want, I don't understand the idea of, well, I can't have it, so I wish no one could have it. And that's kind of the idea of, I wish we got an update with no Tier 3s. So, you know, I want to dive into this a little bit more because on the one hand, do I think we need maybe a little bit more guaranteed CCF, even if it's just a small bit, in order for people to feel as though they're making some kind of progress in the game? Yes. I think you can go 1, 2, 3 days, 4 days without CCF and you can feel really frustrated. But for those of you that hear whispers or you get messages from people in group chats saying that they went weeks or months without any CCF, I'm going to try and disprove that. And I have a small sample size of information to go with that. Someone in my alliance that helped me out with that tremendously, not even on purpose, just by coincidence. But I also want to just talk about the idea that you have to Tier 3 every character that comes out. So, you know, on the one hand, maybe I'm a hypocrite because I do Tier 3 pretty much every new character that comes out, but I'm in a unique position. This is my job, this is how I make money, so I need to continue to bring you new content. Obviously, new Tier 3s is some of the best content I can bring you because not only is it interesting and it's powerful, but it also gives you the idea and it gives you the information, is this a good Tier 3? Is this a bad Tier 3? Is this a terrible Tier 3? And so on and so forth. So you can make a better judgment call and a better cost value analysis. But if you're not swimming in money, or if you're not doing this as your job, there really isn't any need, or there shouldn't be any want to Tier 3 every character. And if there is the want to Tier 3 every character, well, I've got news for you. You're going to have to pay. There's no way you can Tier 3 and keep up with every new character and not spend any money. Now, I know that I've made videos, and I've also just made call-outs during videos complaining about the number of expensive Tier 3s we've had this year. Mr. Fantastic, Wolverine, Thanos, Jean Grey, Doctor Strange. That is still true, but I would suspect that the majority of players didn't Tier 3 Wolverine. I didn't have a lot of great things to say about Tier 3 Wolverine. I tried to warn you guys that he's not the best Tier 3, he's not that good for PvE, and he's, you know, decent for PvP, but he might be overshadowed. Thanos seemed amazing, but again, I emphasized his build is mostly for PvP. Jean Grey was goddess, everybody wants her, I understand. Doctor Strange is kind of a super badass, everybody wants him, I understand. But if you look at the existing content in Marvel Future Fight, just, you know, besides what I'm saying, just look at the content. Do you really need all these Tier 3s? Well, are you pushing up to stage 50 and up for World Boss Ultimate? I would imagine that some of you that complain about not having enough CCF, you're doing stage 1 of World Boss anyways. So the question that I'm kind of posing to you is, well, you don't need the Tier 3s, you want them, and you just want it to be easy. That's my guess for some of the people that are complaining. For some of you, it's a legitimate complaint because maybe you're going for your very first Tier 3, and you're really frustrated, you're at 790 CCF, and you just need 10 more to get Captain America or something like that. I totally understand that. But for people that have already gotten Tier 3s and they're just frustrated because we're getting another Tier 3, I like the fact that Tier 3s, for the majority of players, that Tier 3s are not something you can just get every update automatically without any spending. You can't just, you know, you won't be able to farm 800 CCF in 1 month. You know, even the luckiest players won't be able to. It's impossible, not because I want people to spend money, but because I think it's something that should be special. And I think Tier 3ing a character will lose its value if it's so easy. So that's kind of the counter argument that I want to present. On the one hand, I do still agree with you in part that we need just a little bit more CCF. Maybe, you know, every time you hit stage 40 or stage 50 in Shadowland Plus, you get 5 CCF. Just some small guaranteed CCF per day, even you know, 1 or 2 CCF in a couple of different places. It adds up to 5, whatever. Just so you can feel as though you're making progress and you're not coming up with donut after donut after donut. But on the other hand, the other side of how I feel is, just because you can't have it doesn't mean no one else should have it. And secondly, do you really need it? You know, if you're not playing GBR at all, you're ignoring that game mode, which is probably the hardest game mode in Marvel Future Fight right now, and you're not playing ABX for high scores, and you're not playing World Boss for high scores, okay, there's basically Timeline Battle. It's basically the only other place you would need tier 3s that badly, and I'm sure a lot of you don't play Timeline Battle very seriously either, so I'm guessing you probably don't need them except that you want them. So if you want them, then that really comes down to the value of wanting something that you can't have. And trust me, getting it really fast and really easily might seem like a lot of fun, but you're gonna end up, you know, having all the toys means that you don't value each individual toy as much. So cherish a bit of the grind. I'm still with you on the CCF that it should be a little bit more guaranteed than it is now, just a little bit. But at the same time, I do want to say we should still get a tier 3 every month for every update, or well, not every month, but for every update. And just because you can't get every tier 3 doesn't mean that it should stop or that it should change. Tier 3s should be rare. Tier 3s should be a long-term goal that you grind for and that you strive for. That's what makes them valuable. That's what makes it fun to compare tier 3s and to, you know, oh man, a new tier 3 came out, I wonder how good they are, and, you know, have those kinds of conversations instead of everyone gets the character on the first day and we're all bored within a week because we figured everything out and there's nothing else to figure out. So the last thing I want to do for you guys, hopefully I've made my point clear, and hopefully you can understand where I'm coming from in the sense that I agree with you in part, but I disagree on another part of kind of some of the community's reaction. I'm not saying everyone in the community's had this reaction, but some people. The second thing I want to show you guys is actually very, very cool. So huge shout out to my alliance member Deathminder. I'm very proud to have him in my alliance. He has, call him crazy or call him very efficient, 5. That's right, he has 5 Marvel Future Fight accounts. Now, I don't want to get into the logistics of why this person has 5 Marvel Future Fight accounts, but they are all his accounts, and he played them for 30 days every single day. Of course, he did 5 World Boss Ultimate runs every single day with every single account, and he calculated, look at this guy, fucking super math wizard. Well, you know, statistician, whatever you want to call it, data input. He calculated, this is beautiful. I live for these kinds of spreadsheets. You guys know how much I love spreadsheets. He calculated how much CCF he got on each day for each account. So this is a very cool, albeit a small sample size. It's actually kind of a big sample size. 1 month over 5 accounts is pretty cool. And they're even being done at different World Boss Ultimate stages. So you can calculate the difficulty and whether that's having an impact on how much CCF they're getting. And the VIP, which I think maybe some of you, you know, high VIPs get more CCF or whatever kind of tinfoil hat idea you have. So, again, huge shout out to Deathminder for giving me this information and allowing me to use this in the video. You can just look at it here. We have the 5 account names right up at the top. I've hidden, so you're going to have to wait until the end to guess what their VIP and what their World Boss Ultimate stage was. And then at the bottom, you can see how much CCF they were able to collect over the month. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure that this is gonna look very similar to the average. You can see the low end here is 329, which is pretty low, but it's still not 0. And then on the high end, we have almost 600. So if you're very lucky, or if your name is Latumosis, you can get almost 800 CCF in a month, completely free to play. However, there's no way that any account is getting zeros for a whole week or a whole month. That's nearly impossible. It seems as though the longest day that any of the accounts went without any CCF was 3 days. This one went 4 days and 3 days, so they technically went 0. They technically went 0 7 times, but in between there they got a 40 CCF day. So this account by far got the most unlucky in terms of the most numbers of zeros. I think if you calculate all the zeros, we're looking at least 10 or 11. So yeah, you could feel like you're not getting any CCF because 1/3 of the month you got 0 on those days, but the other 20 days you got CCF, my dude. So, you know, be a bit weary, be a bit more skeptical of people who say, I've gone 2 weeks without any CCF. Chances are they probably skipped World Boss a bunch of times. They're not actually playing every day for 2 weeks. I find it kind of hard to believe, especially when you see data like this. Now for the big reveal, and this part's the most interesting to me. We're going to reveal the World Boss Ultimate stages that they played on to get these rewards. Are you guys ready for this? Boom. So, Deathminder, who got 471, was the only World Boss, was the only account that was playing a World Boss stage over 1. All 4 of the other accounts were playing stage 1 every single day, 5 times per day. And if you're wondering, they always played on the World Boss Ultimate side of thing. They never played for the feathers or any of the other materials. They never played Super Giant, and they always played the World Boss of the day to get those extra materials as well. And yeah, so whether it was 593 or 329, which is almost a difference, it's a difference of 264 CCF. That's huge, but it's on the same stage. That blows my mind. Now, the interesting part, the VIP level. Oh, you're probably wondering what's going on here. Check this out. 17, 9, 8, 4, and 4. So the highest VIP got the second lowest number of CCFs, and one of the mid-range VIPs, 8, got almost 600 CCF. So basically, two things that you can take away from this. What does this information mean? Your VIP has no... Well, I mean, if you trust this information and if you think this is representative of the larger, averages in Marvel Future Fight, VIP has no impact on how much CCF you get, whether you're VIP 0, 1, or 20. And the World Boss Ultimate stage that you do doesn't appear to have much impact at all on how much CCF you get. So if you're really strapped for time, do stage 1. I always encourage everyone to do stage 20 if they can, because those booty boxes, they can drop CCFs. They can drop premium cards. And I get at least one person per day showing me screenshots on Twitter. Yo, Alex, look at this baby Spidey card I just pulled out of this Corvus stage 30 box. Yo, dude, I just got a CTP of Rage out of a booty box. I can't believe this. My hands are shaking. I always encourage people to play stage 20 and up because of that. But even if you're only able to clear stage 1, you can still be on the lucky end. Again, there is a lot of luck involved. I'm not denying that. But you can be on the lucky end and you can pull close to 600 CCF if you play 5 times per day. If you don't play 5 times per day, I can't help you, bro. You're shooting yourself in the foot there by not actually playing and then complaining about the drop rates. So, with that being said, final recap. Thank you so much to Deathminder. We do need a small amount of guaranteed CCF per day, or maybe perhaps guaranteed CCF per week, like let's say 20 CCF per week if you complete a bunch of, or if you complete all 35 World Boss Ultimate fights at the end of the week, you get a small CCF chest that has anywhere from like 5 to 20 CCF. And then on top of that, don't worry. If you can't tier 3 Namor, don't worry. I will bring you content that you can watch about Namor. Other YouTubers will tier 3 Namor, and then if you really love him and you think he's super hype and you want to get him after seeing those videos and seeing that content, start saving up. You will get there eventually. It's not going to take more than a month or a month and a half, even if you start at 0 CCF, judging by those averages. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I know it's a bit of a touchy topic, so I wanted to cover all of my feelings and all of my thoughts about it, but also to be realistic with you guys and be honest. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you later today. Take care.